All right. Well, I would just like to welcome all of our guests today, all of our visitors and all of our members who are staying for this really exciting program that we're having. Kimberly Giarratano, and I really hope I pronounced your name right.
It's Giarratano. That's okay.
Giarratano.
It's my married
Giarratano. Giarratano. She is the chapter liaison from Sisters in Crime. She's going to share to us about some of the fun things that we can find on the website. She's already posted a document in the chat that is a really nice outline of, some of the features that, Sisters in Crime offers. And in addition to that, she's going to walk us through today how to use TradeWing, which is the newer online community for Sisters in Crime. With that, I'm going to turn the program over to Kimberly, but first I'm going to ask her to kind of talk a little bit about her involvement with Sisters in Crime, how she got involved with Sisters in Crime, and what she writes before we kind of plunge into this. So Kimberly, it is all yours. And again, we really appreciate you being here today.
Well, I'm going
to mute myself and turn off my video so we can record here.
Okay.
So one more, just a really quick reminder to everybody who's coming into the meeting, please mute yourselves and turn off your video. So thank you.
It is my pleasure to be here. Seriously, I'm making it my mission to visit as many chapters as I can to talk about TradeWing and all of our programming that we're doing. So yes, my name's Kim Giarratano. I am the Sisters in Crime chapter liaison. I've been in this position. This is going into my second year. I've been a member of Sisters in Crime. I'm embarrassed to say, I think since 2014. Don't quote me on that. I think so. And I had been a member for a very long time before I what happened was the pandemic rolled around and I was kind of lonely. And so I was bugging people at Nashville. I was like, can you give me some projects to do or something that I can do to help out? And so I was working for Lori Rader Day. I was helping her with some projects and helping Julie. And then finally they asked if I wanted to be on the board as a chapter liaison. I've never been in a chapter. I live in the Poconos. The closest chapter to me is Central Jersey, about 2 hours away, or Eastern Hudson area. They're very far, so I've never really been in a chapter. So it was kind of a weird position to take, to be chapter liaison, when I had never participated in chapter before. But I've been in the position over a year and I'm still learning the role. I learn something new all the time. So it's definitely one of those jobs where you'll never quite be the master of it. But I have so much fun visiting the chapters and talking to everybody. I'm very extroverted, so like it feels good for me. And yes, I am also a writer. I have several young adult novels independently published, and my first adult novel will be published traditionally on Valentine's Day. I even have I have them with me, so I can just show you if you all want to see. But this is Death of a Dancing Queen. You can see that the titles, like there's a foil. This is the finished copy. This is the first book coming out from Datura Books, which is the new crime fiction imprint from Angry Robot Books. Angry Robot is an independent publisher from the UK that puts out award-winning science fiction and fantasy. And they just happen to be a team of crime fiction readers, and they decided to do a new imprint, and I'm the first book to come out. This is the first time in my life that I am in bookstores, that I'll be available in the library, that, just that I'll be eligible for some awards, maybe. Like, let's not jump the gun. But it's, I've been independently publishing since about 2014. So this is just kind of a new side to my writing career, but I'm very proud of all my other books. My previous works are young adult novels, so School Eyes. This came out in 2018. It's been a while since I've had something published. And then my first novel, Grunge Gods and Graveyards, won a Silver Falchion in 2015, which I was incredibly proud about. This is a young adult novel set in the 90s when I was a teenager, and it's got a lot of, it's it's a ghost mystery. So all my books are mysteries. They're just, some have paranormal elements, some don't, but that's a little bit about my writing career. And what I'm here to talk to you all today is about just what Sisters in Crime, maybe some under the radar things that you may not be aware of that we have that'll be fun. And also, I hope will be good little like talking points if you're trying to recruit more members to either your chapter or to national in general. Because one of the main values of Sisters in Crime, obviously, our core values is advocacy, equity, inclusion, and community. And recently, we've been, tagging ourselves as Sisters in Crime where writers belong. And I really do feel like, even though we started as an advocacy group for female crime fiction writers in the 80s, we've really expanded our mission to, encompass writers of all backgrounds, all genders. And I really do feel like we're kind of a cool writing community for people who may not just write crime fiction. So many of our programs, our webinars, our podcasts, our sync ups, all have to do with craft and different aspects of craft that really can kind of encompass anybody from any genre. So if you do come across writers who maybe they write fantasy or romance, science fiction, we do have tons to offer them. And they might find a membership to national as well as your chapter very worthwhile. So I'm going to share my screen because one of the things I also want to talk to you all today about is our Sisters in Crime online platform. This is the Google Doc. I put it as a link into the chat. So you can, save it to your own Google Drive if you want. This is going to have just quick links to everything. All of this can be found on the Sisters in Crime website. So just at the top, you'll notice it's where writers belong. That's kind of how we feel about Sisters in Crime right now with national. Like, writers belong here. We have something for everybody. So I've kind of broken up some of the links into craft, connection, and advocacy. One of the things I wanted to tell you all about today is our podcasts. Now, this will take us right there. And I'm not, I'm not sure who's aware, but we do, Julie Hendricks, our executive director, interviews writers for the podcast. They're about 30 minutes long. They're all Sisters in Crime members. That's who she interviews. Tessa Weggert is the latest interview. She's actually one of the co-presidents of the Connecticut chapter of Sisters in Crime. It's a brand new chapter. It opened up in 2022 in the beginning, and she's one of the co-presidents. She's originally from Ontario. She's a lovely woman. We're friends. And she writes a Shanna Merchant series, which is about a police detective in upstate New York. And I want to say the Thousand Islands, but I feel like I'm making that name up. But it's in upstate New York. It's really beautiful. It's super atmospheric. And she is such a wonderful author. There's so much to learn about her. So our podcasts, you can see here, you can download the episode if you want, or you can even go on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you don't listen to podcasts, you're really missing out. So I could talk for 45 minutes on podcasts, but you can see the long list of wonderful authors that Julie has interviewed. And Drew Love, she's not an author, she's a reader. She's like a reader and a fan, and she has a blog and she's big into cozy. So there's really a lot of nice perspectives to get. And the podcasts are not about kind of promoting books as much as talking about the journey of publishing and the craft itself. So this is just a really nice way to hear the stories of authors who we might consider have really made it, but the struggles they might have gone through, the difficulties, the successes, their process. We can always learn from authors. So there's a lot of great ones. And eventually I will be joining this list because Julie did interview me. And if you listen to it, I hope it's good, because I don't know if I can listen to myself on the podcast. I feel like I would be really nervous about it and be like, oh, why did I say that? Oh, my voice sounds weird. But I would totally, FYI, I'll put the docs. I can put the docs again at the end, but I would definitely play around in here. And you can download, if you just click on this, it'll download right to your laptop. I guess it'll download to your phone too. But again, I listen to my podcasts on Spotify and things like that. But if you could just listen to it in your computer while you're doing the dishes, you know, folding laundry. That's usually when I listen to podcasts the most. So I would definitely recommend that. Obviously, our webinars are really well known. We had just a couple of weeks ago, I was signed up for the Scrivener webinar. I use Scrivener to draft. I always joke that I only know how to use 5% of Scrivener. I think I may have learned 7 to 10% of Scrivener. That podcast was amazing. It was amazing. Even if I walked out with like 2 more things that I could learn, it was still so worth my time. Our podcast, I mean, our webinars are so incredible. I'm doing one with Mary Sutton in March about using Excel to plot. Not great at Excel, but I use it to plot. So if that might be something that you might be of interest, that would be great. These are the ones that are coming up. Writing your artist statement, which I've never ever thought about. So I think that's pretty cool. And Plotters versus Pantsers, your path to a novel. So both of these webinars are perfect for writers of any genre. And I really would utilize that. If you're looking to expand membership and you're hitting up libraries that might have writer groups, like, these are great. What doesn't matter what genre you're writing, like, scoop those people up and be like, we have these great webinars to offer everybody. And yeah, it is fabulous. Thank you, Bridget. And that said, we also have the webinar archives. Now, as members of Sisters in Crime, you're gonna make me log in? I'm already logged in. The webinar archives are fantastic. So you can see there's a search category, keyword search. I helped do this and I don't know how great it is, but there is all of these different webinar archives. I think there's categories. So this is what I like, categories. So let's say you're like, you know what, I'm starting out, or I really loved craft webinars. You can click on craft and then search and see all of the webinars that have to do with craft. Again, another way to pitch, you know, your chapter and its like benefits to, you know, writers of any genre. Like fun with plotting, like beginner and advanced fiction authors. So we really are a place where writers belong. Like, you know, we have so much available for, you know, everyone. Like even romance writers might want to know how to write suspense, you know, just fantasy authors for sure. There's always a mystery subplot in most books like that. So I would definitely take advantage of the webinar archives. And because we're members, we have them. Non-members do not have this. And heads up, we are definitely going to start charging non-members to attend some of our webinars. We might have a couple of free, but we're going to start charging because $60 a year is really worth the price of admission for everything you get. So we're really hoping that, you know, potential members will take advantage of our webinars. And the other thing I want to show you is Sync Up. It's on our YouTube page. I've linked to that. Sync Ups are authors just doing real brief. You could see 3-minute, 4-minute videos about just their process or a tip, their crafting, things like that. I think they're really pretty awesome. And of course, also on our YouTube page, we have Sync Forward. Like it says micro learning about topics that touch on equality inclusion, which is really part of our core values. What is entitlement? What is privilege? Our other special presentations that we've given. There's the YouTube page is fantastic as well. So I would definitely use this to like scoop up some people for sure. Okay. I'm going to talk about other things really briefly because then I'm going to get into TradeWing. So with Connection, I'm going to talk about our Sisters in Crime online platform in a second. We also have our write-ins. We do write-ins twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. I have it listed in Eastern time zone, 8, 11, 3 p.m., 9 p.m. And this is the Zoom link here. I'm also going to show you like where you could see it on TradeWing. So, you know, if you're like, oh, I forget when that write-in is, I'll show you where it is. They're about an hour long. We do like 2 Pomodoro, 2 25-minute sessions. They're a lot of fun. It's like writing can be such a lonely endeavor. So to be able to jump online and write with others, like that's how I like to roll. Our advocacy. We are we have so many great resources for advocacy. We have our DEI JB resources: diversity, equity, inclusion, justice, and belonging. And you can see here all of our resources. This is a great page. Why does the work matter? Marginalization, stuff on microaggressions, understanding anti-racism, understanding issues important to the LGBTQ community, ableism, neurodiversity. There's terms here. This is a wonderful resource. Kimberly McLean is our consultant. She is working on behalf of Sisters in Crime for our DEIJB work. And there's even where you can ask her questions. Let me scroll back up to that so you can see that. So if you do have a question, you can ask her anything, right here. It says here, like, if you have a question, maybe you're afraid to ask in public, because when we're learning about something new, particularly in learning about inclusion, and we can definitely have questions that maybe we would feel uncomfortable asking because maybe they sound like, especially as a white woman, I'm sure I could think of like where I might have a question that, I'm curious about, but I would be uncomfortable maybe ask publicly or something like that because I'm not sure how it might sound, or, we all come with our own biases. So you can ask a question for Kimberly, she'll respond. Everything is confidential. She's really, really good at this, what she does. You can learn more about her here, Kimberly McLean. She has a great first name. So just, what it is about her consulting business, what does she do for us, and things like that. But this is really important to Sisters in Crime's mission. So I definitely suggest everybody, play around and click on the links and read everything. Other things to know about our advocacy is that the Eleanor Taylor Bland Award, we offer a monetary award for emerging crime writers of color. We have a Pride Award for emerging writers that belong to the LGBTQ community. We also have an emergency fund. So if any our members are maybe struggling financially, we can offer awards anywhere from $100 to $1,000 to help people out. Oh, I have a typo. We love libraries is also another way that we advocate. We give monetary awards for libraries who, it's sort of like a lottery, just toss your hat in and hope your name gets picked. But libraries need us, they need money, and they need advocacy more than ever. And so that's also something to look into. We have a bookshop. So this is kind of fun if you're looking to either purchase. These are members of Sisters in Crime who have been podcast guests. They're linked to their books. They've maybe been a webinar speaker. You can link to their books. So if you ever attend something, you're like, oh, I want to read that author's book, jump on our bookshop.org page and you can link here. And then does it help us or does it help? I forget. Bookshop.org. I'm so unclear as to what. It says the money goes towards local bookstores. I wonder if are we considered a local bookstore? I don't know. Anyway, let's pretend I knew that. And this is also a list that I found that I thought is pretty cool. It's just bookstores mystery bookstores in your state. So we would, scroll down. I'm sure you guys have looked at this to Indiana. They have these two listed here. In Jersey, I live in the Poconos, but I'm from Jersey. There was only two mentioned. I just got a nice list of all the indie bookstores in New Jersey, because that's where I mostly are. One More Page Books. I'm familiar with it. So this is also a great link to kind of play around, and also to be like, oh, I'm going to be in Maryland for a thing. Maybe I can see if the bookstore would host me. Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far on everything I've gone through? I really wanted to spend some time on TradeWing, so I sort of zipped past quite a lot. Please feel free to ask in the chat. I'm like, love questions. All right. If not, or if you think of something at the end, that's fine. So TradeWing. TradeWing is the name of the platform. I have a tendency to call it TradeWing, which I realize can be quite confusing. It's the Sisters in Crime online community. That sounds nicer, but I happen to say TradeWing a lot. It's just faster. There's two ways you can get into it. So you can, well, that's TradeWing. You can head on over to the main page and you can go to connect and you can click on sync online community. As long as you are logged in, you can go straight there by clicking on this. And if it doesn't bring me right there, I'll go. And, oh, Alyssa, the guppies. So I am not, the guppies is the largest of our it's a chapter, but it's an online chapter. And it was originally for the great unpublished. It started off as like a beginner, like, you know, for the newbies, they would join guppies. It's really expanded into its own thing. It's like super huge. It's like 800 members, something insane. And mostly people from all like stages of their career in guppies. I'm never sure what to post in the main community versus guppies. So are you talking about TradeWing? Because we'll figure that out together. Hold on one second. Okay, so this is the Sisters in Sync online community or TradeWing. I use them interchangeably. And the first thing, you know, if you're logged into the site, you'll be logged in here. And the first thing you get to is the home page. And on the home page, it's just going to be like, just like with Facebook, it's your home feed, it's everybody's posts scrolling. And you could sit there and mindlessly scroll if you want to. But if you find this overwhelming, you can just go to your groups. So I am an administrator. You can see my groups on the side. There are groups that, you know, this is my fake group that I'm going to use in a second. But there's a few groups. There's a Sync write-in troop because I sometimes host a write-in. I'm a part of that group. There's the Business of Marketing group. And it's just to talk about marketing tips, you know, anything about the business of trying to sell your work to others to read. You can see there was a whole conversation on what was going on with Twitter. 4 days ago, something was creating book promotional content via Canva. This is great. I am always trying to learn Canva. I like Scrivener. I don't know a lot of how to use it. I use it like kind of simplistically. But this woman always, Sarah, always posts these really great YouTube videos on learning Canva. They're quite detailed. They're amazing. Ingram versus Amazon printing. This, you know, there was a question here. Ingram Sparks pros and cons. So a lot of this, just you can kind of scroll through. If you have a question about marketing, you're like, hey, bookmarks. So simple, right? Bookmarks. Where do you get your bookmarks done? Is there a way to do it cheaper? Do you find that they're worthwhile? Should I not waste my money? Like, is postcards a good idea? Like, you can post a question in here and people who belong to the group will chime in. There's also a group for indie authors. So if you look at this, it's just like Facebook, just like Facebook. There's a banner, there's activity, who are the members, resources, events that might happen in here. You can host events in TradeWing, like a Zoom event. You can even just do something super informal, like, hey, Friday night, let's do a little cocktail hour, bring your beverage of choice, and let's just talk in our group. We can totally do that. Yep. So you can see here, some of the groups are a little bit more active than others. It depends on when people last, like the indie group could be a little bit more active. And these groups will become more active the more chapters that sort of get on board and start playing on here, because you're going to be able to access people who are not in chapters. 40% of our members do not belong to a chapter. So when we're only posting our events on like Groups.io, we're kind of not scooping up all of these stragglers who would be like, oh yeah, I would like to go to that. So just something to think about in the future. But the indie authors group, we really need to use, like, just get some more like dynamic conversations going on. So, you know, hey, I'm an indie author, and, you know, anything having to do with indie authorship, you know, would be great. This is a group that I started called the Critique Group. So I noticed some authors were like, hey, can somebody read over this blurb, this pitch? Like, or do you know a place where I can put my pitch up for feedback? And I was like, let's make a group. So this is for queries, pitches, manuscript swaps. And you can see, you know, somebody will be like, looking to find, a partner to work with. I'd love to read someone else's mystery. This woman was looking for just for a 1-paragraph pitch, helping a little bit with that. Nobody's responded yet, so we have to get in there and do something to help her out. Critique partners. Should I submit to publishers of my comp books? That's a really interesting question. So, here's a synopsis, that somebody's looking for feedback on. So if you're an indie author and you're trying to work on your blurb for your book description, this is a great way to get feedback. If you're querying an 8 for agents, this is a great way to get feedback on your queries. If you're going to be involved in some type of pitch contest, this is a great way to get feedback on that. But, if you're working on a synopsis and you're like, can somebody read and look over my synopsis? This might be a great place. This would be a great place to get some help. So I definitely recommend this. This is the chapter events group. So for chapter leadership, this is a great place to start adding your chapter events to. Usually what we do is we just, maybe one person from your chapter can post in here, delegate to somebody, you don't have to put it on leadership, just ask for just maybe somebody who wants to get more involved but's afraid. This is like a great thing for them to do. Hey, do you just want to put our chapter events on the chapter events group in Tradewing? And then it's a nice way to get kind of people involved. So you can see, where your images can go and all your graphics and stuff. And here you got the virtual, in-person. Desert Sleuth is pretty cool with some of the stuff that they're putting up. But yeah, like go nuts. These are all mine. The sync community is everything. So if it's, some people will just throw stuff up in there as well. How do you find what page, Shirley? The chapter events page? How do you find, is that what you're looking for? But so all of these groups are easy, or you can find here. So let's see, how would I search for them? I'll figure that out in a second. Okay. So lastly, there's also a chapter leadership group. We're trying, I feel like it hasn't been working out, but we're really trying to get chapter leadership to utilize this instead of the groups IO. If you're in chapter leadership, the president or vice president, that's a separate sort of listserv. We'd really like to kind of move the conversations into Tradewing. We feel like it's just a much more dynamic and pleasant interface to use than groups IO. And I think, we'll slowly get there over time. Tradewing for us is only a year old. I think we rolled it out March. I mean, obviously the platform's been around longer, but for us, we've only used, it's only been around a year. So we really do feel like this is the future of Sisters in Crime in terms of engaging with our community. It also really allows chapters to engage with each other and members who are not in chapters to engage with chapters, to be potential chapter members. So we really want our chapters to embrace Tradewing. And we understand, I definitely understand when people are like, I don't want another thing to check. I get it. I totally get it. But I'd like to think of Tradewing as being like a fun place to hang out because it's all about writing. Facebook is like a minefield of nutsness, right? I don't go on there really anymore, but I love to come to Tradewing because it's all about writing. And if I'm excited about my book or I'm excited about marketing opportunities, or if I have concerns or questions about just publishing in general, which, can be incredibly stressful and rewarding and all sorts of emotions, it's a nice place to come and hang out and talk to people who get it. My husband doesn't get it when I'm sitting there complaining about plotting or when I'm worried about my book's performance. He can be sympathetic, but he doesn't really understand, but you all do, So I really, encourage everyone to come. This is my fake chapter, Tinley Park Rockers chapter, totally made up, but I'm the administrator. So these are just some things that you can do with it as a chapter. Obviously, you can edit the cover photo. Just here, just like with, it's a message board, you want to be within your chapter, hey, this library is looking for authors to do an event, post it in here. Here's the contact info. This bookstore is going to host this author, throw it in here. You have also a resources availability as well. Who is allowed to do that? Membership. So just your leadership would just email Kristen, and I will put that on the Google Docs. Just email admin@sistersandcrime.org and tell her Speed City would very much like a chapter on Tradewing. The only thing you need to make sure you do, Speed City, is make sure your membership is up to date. If you do that, then go ahead, Mary. Just do that. Make sure your membership is up to date, because what happens is like all those people get swooped into the Tradewing group. Like it's all automatic. So you just want to make sure that everybody that's in your membership is listed in your membership online, and then we'll just open it up for you. And it's private. Nobody outside of your chapter who's not a member would be in that group. So, you know, everything that stays in Tradewing, you know, writes in Tradewing stays in Tradewing. But yeah, you can throw up your resources too. So for example, if you can add files, new folder. So, and if your board wants its own subgroup, we can do that as well. So, you know, great place to put your bylaws, great place to put PDFs of like events, great place to put a list of libraries in your state, great place to, you name it. I'm sure I'm thinking of things, like I can't even think of the things you can do. And you can also do events here. You can create a new event. So I know you have your Sync Zoom account, but if you wanted to do something super informal, just to kind of, you can do a meeting in here. The only thing we don't have in Tradewing, which we really keep bugging the Tradewing people about, is closed captioning. We're kind of hoping once we get that, maybe we don't need our Zoom licenses. We'll see. But let's say you're like, oh, you know, it'd be fun. Let's do a little cocktail party on Friday, or let's do a write-in Sunday morning, or, you know, I'm lonely, I want to write with somebody. Just create an event. You know what I mean? And you can do it here. You can, like, if you click on create new event, you know, you can put like write-in, you know, little description. Let's write. Let's spell this correctly. You can do an image. You know, can this event be dialed into? Yes. Is it open or ticketed, live video stream? Can it be recorded? You can make it no. Like if you're just doing like a, you know, an informal get together, you may not want to record that. And then you would add speakers. Everybody who wants to participate, you can add up to 50 speakers for the event. That means y'all show up. If you only add like 2 speakers, it means just they're the only ones on the camera, so to speak, like a webinar. Do you know what I mean? And everybody's in the chat. So that's something you can do, you know, and who can find and join this event. So if you're like, hey, we should do an event with another chapter, you can, members of a specific group or something like that, you can kind of bring them in. So if you wanted to do something like that, you know, something informal without having to make a big Zoom production of it, you can totally do that as well. And it's in here. It's easy to find. It's not like where in the email is the Zoom link, which I am always Googling for. Sure, it's relatable. So these are things that you can do as well. Hold on. Let me get out of here. So that's something you can do. But yeah, you can create a poll. Hey, we were thinking of doing a Halloween party. Who's in? You know, or you ask a question. So these are all just things that you can do to just kind of facilitate communication within your own chapter. And if you are coming into this particular meeting and you're not a part of Speed City, or, you know, you're in a different chapter, like, let me know. I'm making it my goal to visit all chapters and talk about Tradewing, because I really would like to see it utilized a little bit more. We have thousands of members on Tradewing, but we do need to have kind of more conversations. We have other groups here that I'm not even in. There's a research group. There's a cozy comedy writers group. We have groups for our different committees. So we can have more groups. If you're a thriller writer and you're like, I feel like I need to surround myself more thriller writer people, we can have a thriller writer group. The only thing that we really ask is that we can get some moderators. You know, people who are like, yeah, I am going to once a day check in, or every other day check in and read some posts. I have yet to come across an issue where I felt like somebody was being rude or going against the code of conduct. It hasn't happened. So I go in and I just try to make sure that I'm engaging with people in conversation. Seeing somebody posted a query, nobody's really responded yet, maybe I can jump in. But yeah, if you're like, I would love to see a thriller writers group. we can do this. We can make it. It's really easy. Just let me know who, would like to moderate, and just check in every once in a while, make sure things are going smoothly. And that's it. We can have a historical mystery writing group, like any subgenre, you name it, let's make it happen. Okay, how to find groups? That's a good question. So if I go home, if you go to all groups, this is how you would probably find it. So like here's research questions. If they're open to everybody, you just go on all groups and they'll be available for you. If they are private, meaning they're for a chapter, for a committee that you're not a part of anyway, it won't be available to you. And you can change the privacy and stuff like that to your, there's the equity project group. I probably in all of this because I'm an admin. We have a group just of introductions. Like if you just want to meet people, that's an opportunity too. Blatant self-promotion. This is all that group is. We don't, you know what I mean? Like my book's out today. I got an award. Just throw it in blatant self-promotion. Everybody's there to cheer you on. It's nice. Let's see. And I'm not going, I'm like, there are more like, there are other groups that are private that I can't necessarily get into. I mean, I can also I can add a group. So if you're like Kim, I have 2 other people who want to moderate a group for thriller writers. You can email me or Kristen and we will set it up. It's very easy. We'll just add it, make you the administrators, and you can, you can pick who you want to moderate and things like that. You can make it open. You can change, you want to make these groups open so that people can join, your chapter group would be private, but, if you're looking to do any type of subgenre group, querying writers group, no, there doesn't, Hawthorne. So let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. We can just get it in there. Queer writers. Is that be it? There's crime writers of color. And then there's another group. That's obviously a whole separate group. That's a separate organization, but we don't have necessarily subgroups. Like we can totally make it happen. We can make it happen. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Last thing I just want to, and also events. Like if you come here, you can get your events put in. Right now, they're just our write-ins is what's coming up. And then our webinars that are happening too. Queer Crime Writers Group. Yes, thank you. I'm like, am I saying the title right? Because I was blanking. Yep, we can make it happen. Whatever we can all, it's really the sky's the limit with Tradewing in terms of having groups to discuss everything. We will make it happen. We want everybody really to kind of get on board and get excited. And we realize that people are not quick to adopt because again, it's another thing. And I totally understand, but it is a lot like Facebook. It has that feel. So if you're used to being in tons of Facebook groups, Tradewing really kind of has that same vibe in terms of interface. So Steve has been posting our event information in the events group. Excellent. So in the chapter events, perfect. So that's going to actually kind of scoop in people who are not in chapters and things like that. Yeah, there is a lot more. And I'm going to show you how to do the one thing that probably everybody, if you go to your profile, that's me. Hold on, I forget where it is, but account settings. I go here. Okay. Do you see where it says notifications? One of the things that I've been hearing a lot is I'm sick of the emails, and I hear you. I opt out of them. The only Groups.io, I make sure I get all the emails because if somebody in a chat, if there's questions and as the liaison, I want to be able to answer them right away. With Tradewing, I don't really do that. You can opt out of all the emails. You can, if you want, get daily emails. You could change it off. You can turn these off real time. If you want to, every time somebody posts something, you want to get it in real time, they'll send you an email. Nobody wants that. I don't actually get any emails, so I wonder why. You can, if you don't want anybody to DM you, you can turn this off. If you don't want to hear about people, people mention you and you don't want to know about it, you don't want to be notified, you can turn that off. So there's a lot, because people don't want to, sometimes I think people are really afraid to do this because, no, it shouldn't be Carol. And so it's online duplicate. No, it's our real goal is just have everybody using the TradeWing platform at some point, like that we can sort of move away from Groups.io. Like we can, because we don't own Groups.io. Groups.io could disintegrate tomorrow. Like the company could just take everything away and you're like kind of stuck. TradeWing is a company that we pay and we pay them to maintain it. And if hypothetically, God forbid, they were to go under for some reason, we would know. Or if we were to move to a different platform over time, like we could take all our stuff with us, all your resources that you put up. Groups.io is free. It could leave tomorrow with no warning and then everybody's stuck. So that's why I think TradeWing is sort of the safer option. It is more user-friendly. I agree, Carol. It's just more pleasant to look at too. And like, look at these nice little icons and everything's so clean and easy. That's how I think of it. So yeah, you can turn things on and off, any groups you're in. So these are all my groups. You could be like, all right, I don't, you can be like, let me turn this off. I don't need, and it says updated preference. So once I don't need to get an email or a digest from this. Like I just, but maybe my own chapter, I'd be like, yes, I want to see if something new is posted because it might be a concern or it might be something I need to look at right away. So you can just kind of like pick and choose. But this is all under notifications. Like if you go here, account settings, it's all under there. And there is a mobile site. I have it on my phone. There is a mobile app. So I am not personally, I'm looking to, it's here. Like you could see there's the TradeWing icon. I am not I am a laptop user. I like to be on the computer. I don't love doing everything on my phone. I just don't. So I don't open the TradeWing app all that often, but you can, if you're like, no, I like it. Like you're like, well, instead of scrolling through Facebook, I'm going to scroll through TradeWing and see what's going on with Sisters in Crime. There's an app, there's a mobile app. So, and that would be great probably for chapter leadership too. If you're like, oh, let me post something while I'm out and about, you can do that there. I just don't happen to be that kind of person. Okay. Any other questions on TradeWing? Anything else you want to see? Also, their tags, I should mention that. So you can follow tags. So I was like, well, I'm going to follow historical tags. I like historical mysteries. Maybe, we do Camp Nano too. I totally forgot about that. We do a big thing for Camp NaNoWriMo, so, and for regular NaNoWriMo in November. So, but you maybe you're a cozy writer. You want to follow the cozy tag. So any time somebody tags their posts, like you can follow that if that's of interest to you. So just like on Instagram, you can follow like a hashtag, you can follow any of these. I love hard boiled. That's what I write. So, that would be like worth following for me to be like, ooh, who's posting anything on the hard boiled? So, some mystery and stuff like that. Kid mystery, like these tags should be groups, but we don't have people kind of, and I think they are just on Facebook. Are you talking about Groups.io? That's for Groups.io is a listserv. Some of our chapters do use it as a way of communicating. If you guys don't, if you use Facebook and you don't use Groups.io, probably your leadership does. It's just like there's a listserv. Don't worry about it. If you're like, I don't know what that is, you don't need to know what it is. Some of the chapters use it for communication. But if you don't use Facebook, that's different. But again, this has the same interface as Facebook. In that way, I feel like it's very user friendly because most of us, have used Facebook on Facebook. We're used to the groups. This is definitely the same. And if you do decide you want your chapter here as well, you can, click on members, whoever is like here, I can edit a role. I can take people out. You shouldn't have to take people out as long as you're updating your membership. People will be removed that way. It just automatically syncs, but you can edit a role. You can make somebody a group member. You can make them a moderator. You can make them an admin. So, let's say you have your elections and your presidents change, you just change the roles. You make somebody, they become the admin and stuff like that. So, okay, I'm checking. Oh yeah. Okay, Carrie. So that's it for TradeWing. I realize it's 12:47. So does anybody have any other questions?
We don't have hard deadlines. I mean, I don't want to tie up your day, but we really, our deadlines aren't super hard.
Okay.
So,
I just didn't
and
want to.
this has been so good. So this is so helpful.
I'm glad, because I never know what people know already. So I'm always afraid, like, am I telling you guys something you already know? And you're like, boring. But let me add to the document because I'm in here. So my contact information is here. So, and then I'm going to add here Kristen Prine. She is our admin. And so her email is admin@sistersincrime.org. And she, if you decide that Speed City wants a TradeWing group, you email her and tell her, hey, we'd like to be a TradeWing group. Our admins will be our president or vice president. And then you can make moderators, like you should. Don't put everything on leadership's shoulders. Yeah. Yes. Again, I will go to everyone's chapter meetings and show this. I've already, I will go everywhere. I already have a couple in the book. Like, I plan to go to everyone. I just met with leadership from another chapter the other day, just informally showing them TradeWing. Sometimes, and if you're like, we don't necessarily want a chapter meeting about this, I can just meet with like somebody, designate someone. And I'm so glad, Hope, just designate someone and we'll like set up a Zoom meeting and I'll be like, let me show you TradeWing. Because then, most people, when they see it, they're like, oh yeah, this is really easy. I don't know why I was nervous. And they get excited. And I want everybody to get excited because I really would like to see the interactions kind of expand. Like sometimes I'll go into a group and I'm like, conversation's lagging because we just need more blood coming in and mixing it up and, talking about new things. And I'd love to see more groups. We can have groups on everything and anything. If you can think of it and you think there's like interest, just get a couple of people to be like, yeah, I'll check in, I'll moderate. That's all we need. So, but yeah, I have this document is in the chat. It's just got all of our links. And I would definitely, it's whatever floats your boat, for me, I love a good technology like a webinar, yeah. Crime writers seek new blood reads kind of multi-level. It does. Good one. But also it's a great way to like hit up places to kind of get, more members. I think all the chapters are looking for members. I've really yet to meet a chapter where like we have way too many people. Like we all want to kind of make sure that we're expanding our membership. And I would recommend also is tagging people for small jobs, for small volunteer, make obligatory volunteer positions, but just tag people and be like, hey, would you be, interested in just checking in on this, on our, our chapter group, once a day or twice a week or whatever, you know what I mean? Just to kind of keep people engaged and, make them feel part of the group. I think it's really nice. So, and yeah, because again, our webinars and our programs and our advocacy really extend to writers of all genres. I would hate to think somebody's like, oh, I shouldn't, I write fantasy, I don't really belong there. Of course you do. We may not have a fantasy specific webinar, but we might have like building a world webinar, which would totally apply. So everything that we do really just reaches across the divides of genre for sure. And I mean, we are such a welcoming group. I'd like to think all writers feel like they belong with us. So I don't know if how they could be publicized. If you go to TradeWing and then just go to home and just do a post, that's how I did it. when I made the critique groups, I went on to the whole sync community and I was like, hey, we have this new group. And I think I was able to like make it like important. I forget what I did. And then people join that way. And if you look my critique group, how many members do we have? I think we have a ton. 200. So yeah. Oh, Nashville, that's great. I'm glad. But yeah, like you can just go on this and be like, we have a new group. Everyone's welcome, you know. So they could yeah, you can find it that way. You can tag, remember there are tags, so you can tag it. And then people will find it. People will find it. And they're always, people are very excited. When I started the critique group, people were like, oh, thank you for starting this. I was like, my pleasure. So yeah, you could even put like, that's how I did it. I was like, would anyone be interested in a critique group where we look at queries and pitches and manuscripts? Because I was thinking of query trackers forum. They have like a, you know, submit your query for critique and stuff like that. I was thinking of that. So I pitched it first and a lot of people were like, yeah, that sounds great. And I was like, well, can I have a couple of people who might be interested in moderating? And I got a couple of names. So that's how, and then because I have the admin privileges, I just made it. I asked Julie, can I make this group? She's like, yep. So I did. So that's all you got to do. That's about it. Anything else? Okay, so should I stop my share?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just like, I don't want to, but. So if you are here from another chapter and you want me to come to your chapter meeting or you want me to meet with somebody, I'm more than happy to do it. I really am.
Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate you coming to our group, and this has been chock full of information. So
I'm really glad because again, I was like, ooh, you know, I never know what everyone else knows, and I don't want to like bore the pants off of anyone. So
no, you haven't at all, and I got to tell you, your enthusiasm is really catching too.
oh, good.
I don't know about anybody else, but January has seemed like really blah, and you've just made me really charged up about kind of digging into this stuff. So I appreciate it for just that. I mean, you just kind of got me a little reinvigorated.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so
yeah.
we get your weather because I'm on the east, right? So we get the Midwest weather, and I don't know about you, but we haven't had a lot of snow, and it's been kind of drab. So, you know, January has felt like a very long March. So I totally understand that. Yeah, January and February are really hard months to kind of muster through. So I'm glad to help maybe brighten some spirits and get everyone excited about like just hanging out on Tradewing and talking about the things we love, which is publishing and writing and all of that. So
yeah, I'm definitely going to be digging into the Tradewing, and we've had some discussions about, you know, maybe we'll set up our own chapter group and work with our members to kind of get them engaged. I think that would help us a lot.
I think
those are some really great, a lot of great material here, and
yes, please do. And I ask Kristen, just tell her, yep, we're interested in getting we want all our chapters on here. So she's going to say, absolutely 100%. Just let me know who your administrators are. And then you can make people moderators and you can get rolling. And then if you want a subgroup, you want like an executive board group, you want a committee group, whatever you want, we can make subgroups for that too.
Again, thank you. I just want to make sure nobody has any other questions about anything at all, whether it's Tradewing or other chapter benefits. You're certainly a great salesperson for Sisters in Crime.
I'll let Julie know that. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I really do enjoy talking to chapters so that when I do see you, maybe at a conference, you'll be like, oh, it's Kim. Because I'm very outgoing. So I like to talk to people and it makes me feel good too. But I will then say goodbye. I am and please do not hesitate to email me. I've my email and contact information is all on that Google sheet at the end. So there's an email for.
Did you repost that Google sheet?
I will do that.
If you could, that would really help.
Yep, it's at the end. So
Thank you.
Yep, you're very welcome. And so take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.